The only thing that's been laying around the house more epically than me this vacation is not Tully, is this gigantic butternut squash. Ugh, Tully. So, in the nature of science, sweetie, I love you.
I love you.
I gotta kiss that shoulder. So I gotta take this bad boy downstairs and see how much it weighs. I'm not very pleased with myself today. A date to Mama Noodles and a big copious amount of candy eaten from the trick-or-treaters. So let's get on the scale with the phone. 191.6. Okay, now let's get the old squash in hand here. We'll wait for the scale to do its calculation. Trying to figure out how much body fat I have. 191.6. So holding. So this is about 11.9 pounds of squash. Not quite 12 pounds of squash. 11.9 pounds of squash. That's a lot of squash. Now, I'm going to try to cook this thing and eat it. We're going to see how well this goes today. I've looked at a couple recipes online. I've gotten a lot of sage advice from Nanny Pat, who has cooked many, many squashes in her day. Sweetie, this thing is just under 12 pounds. Here, do some curls with it. My sweetie's been the fitness. Look at that arm, sweetie. Look at that. Look at those guns. Sweetie is the alpha, the omega 3. She could squash me like a bug.
Like a bug.
The alpha is earned some deserved rest. And she's taking a little snooze. That leaves the Sigma and the Tully up to their own devices today, trying to make some squash. So the first step of this process is I'm taking this giant squash and making giant squash coins. This is just going to be gold. My assistant chef Tully is looking up some of the guts of the squash. Tastes pretty good, doesn't it, buddy? So we got the stem all cut into cubes. Now we're going to the heart of the squash, which is apparently the most tasty part of the squash. So we got kind of like looks like a nut from a nut and bolt type thing. We got kind of an octagon goofy thing going on here, and I'm going to repeat the process on this guy and turn them into cubes and then bake them on a pan. And hopefully we're living like Larry with squash. One of the perks for working at the state is there's always leftover rubber gloves in my pocket at the end of the day. So I accumulate these, keep them downstairs. And when I need to toss my squash with salt, pepper, and olive oil, well, this helps kind of keep the mess to a minimum. Kinda. Tully's been such a good assistant chef. We got the squash in the oven cooking for about 28 minutes. So we'll see how it turns out. Tully, I think you're going to get a bite of squash. Yeah, it's just like potato, only orange. The assistant chef has nibbled at least 2 chunks of squash that I fumbled on the floor. We're getting down. 4 minutes and 19 seconds left in the oven. Here I am preparing the final step, honey butter glaze to drizzle on top of the squash after it comes out of the oven. So I do not want to burn this. So Tully, if you smell something, let me know. All right, here we got the butter and honey drizzle that we're putting on the squash cubes. They don't look quite as done as I would hope they would be. I'd like to see them a little bit more golden brown, but we're going to try them out and see how they taste. My sweetheart even said she's going to try one because she hates squash.
I'll try it for my husband.
And hey, we want to give a shout out to Ashley, who gave me the giant 11.9 pound squash. It's been sitting around the house, much like me this vacation, not doing much of anything. But when I put my mind to it, I can get some stuff done. Johnny wants to try the squash. He's like, it looks good. I think I'm going to bake it for a couple more minutes with the glaze on it. Sweetie, what do you think?
I think you probably got a good idea. Big smile.